The entire cryptocurrency market could be getting ready to see yet another crash because we just had some massive news release about what's happening to some of the key players in cryptocurrency. And today I want to explain exactly what is happening behind the scenes and the negative impact that this could have on the price of Bitcoin and a lot of the altcoins as well. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Brendan and it's great to have you here. And if you're a recurring member, it's great to have you back. I hope everyone is having a great day, no matter where you are from. So let's go ahead and dive into some of the key news first, and then we'll talk about how this could impact the price of Bitcoin and do a little bit of technical analysis as well, because Bitcoin right now is at a crucial support of $20,000, which if you're not familiar with, this is the previous top from 2018, and also somewhere that we have closed over 2 weeks worth of weekly candles above this zone, and it could be about to break, but we'll come back to that in just a second, because Three Arrows Capital just continues to have bearish news on bearish news come out about it, and they are now being ordered to liquidate by the British Virgin Islands. Now, if you're not familiar with the situation, they've been in a lot of trouble for quite some time now. So the crypto brokerage Voyager Digital, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with that name, issued a default notice to Three Arrow Capitals this week after the fund failed to make required payments on loans of over 15,000 Bitcoin and an additional $350 million worth of USDC, which is a stablecoin. Voyager shares have plunged after it disclosed its exposure to Three Arrows Capital, and now they are seemingly looking to get that money back. And it looks like the British Virgin Islands court is going to end up backing Voyager here. So what does this mean for crypto? Well, at the end of the day, this is not a bullish thing. Three Arrows Capital had something like $10 to $12 billion in assets under management, and they had a lot of money in cryptocurrency, as you can see from these major requirements that they're soon going to have to pay, or at least a portion of this, they're going to have to start paying up front over here. Now, if you're not familiar with the last time this happened, if we move this back to a daily chart, this had a negative impact on Bitcoin's price before, and this certainly does make a little bit of blood in the water and fear in the air. And I don't see this really being, I don't think anyone can argue that this is a bullish thing for crypto. When you have some of the largest players in crypto, hedge funds and crypto management being in trouble and seeing liquidation notices, it's not a good thing. So time will tell to see exactly how this plays out, but it's not looking good for Three Arrows Capital. And this is going to be probably a story that we continue to follow, because this really is at the forefront of everyone's mind alongside a couple of other things. Now, in other major news, what has come to fruition, at least yesterday, is the idea that major hedge funds are now planning to launch a coordinated attack on Tether USDT following the Terra Luna and the UST crash. Now, if you're not familiar, Terra Luna was one of the largest cryptocurrencies ever. It was a top 10 crypto in its prime, and they also had a partner stablecoin or a sister stablecoin called UST. Now, combined, it was just this massive tens of billions of dollars in market cap, and it ended up going to zero. Both of them are almost to zero. And upon this crash, people began to lose faith in their stablecoins. And with Tether being another very speculative stablecoin, it seems like people want to short Tether as well. Now, we've talked about this issue countless times on the channel. There is a very, and I mean very large difference between Tether and UST, meaning Luna stablecoin. The main differences here is that Tether actually has reserves, and it's not solely based on an algorithm between it and its sister coin, Luna. So if you're not familiar with the differences between UST and Tether, I heavily advise that everyone do some research and make sure that you're caught up with this. But Tether is supposed to be backed between 80 and 100% with real cash or cash reserve equivalents, meaning they have the money. If they have a $10 billion market cap, then they should have close to $10 billion in cash or cash equivalent reserves. And essentially what these hedge funds are trying to do is to stress test Tether to see if they actually have the money that they say that they have, because if they don't, Tether could go to zero and these hedge funds make a bunch of money. And if they do, essentially the hedge funds end up getting wrecked. Now, could Tether crash from this? Obviously, there's always the possibility of something crashing, especially when you have major money in institutions trying their best to make it crash because they have positions betting that it will go down. So could this happen? Yes. If Tether crashes and goes to zero, let me just say that it would nuke the cryptocurrency market. You think we're down a lot now. If Tether goes and crashes and truly depegs and goes to zero, we will not have even seen the worst of what could happen to this market. I mean, we might be down 70% now. If Tether crashes, we could fall another 70%. So, truly, I hope it doesn't happen. I don't think it's going to happen. Tether has been stress tested a lot in the past couple of months, and one of their founders or lead executives over there was actually just tweeting about it, and I wish I had the tweets up. But he was talking about the billions of dollars that has been withdrawn from Tether, and Tether is still yet to depeg. It was something, and again, I need to go fact check this, but it was something like $17 billion that have been withdrawn from Tether, and it's doing just fine right now. So my hope is that these traditional hedge funds that continue to try to short cryptocurrency without having a full understanding of it, I hope they get wrecked. I mean, honestly, I really do hope that a lot of these traditional hedge funds that are so set on shorting everything, I hope they really do get wrecked. But that's just a little bit of my bias. So if you want to look more into this, there is a really cool article on this. There is a couple of articles, but the unique thing here is this originally came out from, I believe it was the Wall Street Journal. So the Wall Street Journal issued this report at the start of the week and essentially saying that there has been a real spike in the interest from traditional hedge funds who are talking about and looking at taking short positions in Tether. And this came out of Genesis Global. So lots of stuff happening behind the scenes. Is this a bullish thing for crypto? Again, probably not. If traditional hedge funds want to short something, it's not necessarily a bullish thing on crypto, but this could be a situation of a potential attack. So I hope everyone stays safe out there. I personally prefer USDC over USDT. In a worst case scenario, I don't even have any funds or any real funds in Tether, but I really hope that it doesn't crash. And again, I really don't think that it will. I think that this will be a failed attempt from hedge funds because people have been trying to short Tether and crash it for years. So I don't think this is going to be the time that it eventually falls. Now let's talk about some positive news. The crypto exchange FTX is now looking into acquiring Robinhood. Now, most of you are familiar with FTX and their founder, Sam Bankman-Fried. He's a major influencer in crypto. Obviously, he has a lot of money because FTX is one of the largest and most prominent exchanges in the world. And if this happens, this would be major for cryptocurrency, as now cryptocurrency is acquiring traditional brokerages and traditional companies in the financial world, which for a long time it's been the opposite, where traditional companies have been acquiring crypto companies. And it looks like the roles are finally starting to flip here. But so far there has been no confirmed, or I guess there's been no one to confirm this rumor that FTX wants to acquire Robinhood. Rather, the CEO of FTX came out and said that they are looking to maybe partner with Robinhood rather than acquire them. Now, the CEO of FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, owns about a 7.6% stake in Robinhood, so it's someone who is obviously involved. He's a major shareholder, and he has quite the voice inside of the Robinhood board. So I would imagine that if he wanted to do some kind of team up or partnership, he would be able to make it happen because of how much Robinhood stock this man owns. Now, in our final set of news, before we go back to the technical analysis, Bitcoin Jesus, the man, the myth, the legend, Roger Ver, has begun sparring with yet another crypto exchange called CoinFlex over his margin call. And this is essentially just a game of you did it, or he said, I said, whatever you want to call this. This is a game of everyone pointing the fingers. Essentially, CoinFlex is saying that Roger Ver failed to pay a $47 million stablecoin margin call. Now, Roger Ver then came out to Bloomberg and said, I have no debt to CoinFlex. In fact, they're the ones who actually owed me money, or some other counterparty actually owed me money. So I don't owe the money, they owe the money, they're saying that he owes the money, he's saying that they owe the money, and it's just a big game of pointing the fingers. Now, if you're not familiar to Roger Ver, this man has a lot of controversy behind him. He is the man behind some of the leading Bitcoin forks, and he claims to be Satoshi Nakamoto. So quite the controversial story behind him, and this seems to just only add to that story, as he now has a $47 million stablecoin margin call that he is really refusing to pay. So hopefully this all gets resolved. Again, this kind of news and these kind of large margin calls can't be a good thing for the crypto markets. So at the end of the day, I really do hope that all of this gets sorted out in the best way possible. Now, let's go ahead and take a look over at the Bitcoin chart, because as we are charting here live, Bitcoin is officially broken below $20,000 yet again for the first time in about a week. We saw a nice little price rise after we rallied from this zone before. It turned out to be about a 10% gain in Bitcoin. But as we fall back down over here, we can remember that this is a crucial level for Bitcoin, because on the weekly time scale, this was the area. My head's blocking part of it, so we'll fix that. But this was the area where Bitcoin previously topped out at in 2017, beginning of 2018. And this is now where we're looking to close our weekly candles above this line. And we did this for the first week, we did this for the second week, and now we are on our official third weekly candle. And it looks like this one is going red below this line, at least for the time being. Now, there's still a lot of time left in the week. That's not to say that this weekly candle can't close above this zone, but for the time being, this could be getting a little bit dangerous for Bitcoin. And what this really almost looks like is that maybe we had a rejection from this 200 weekly moving average, which has historically been a bottoming indicator for Bitcoin. If we want to go back and actually move this over to Bitstamp, we can see that this is where Bitcoin bottomed at numerous times. Bitcoin bottomed here in 2015, it bottomed here again in 2018, and then it bottomed here again, having its candle body closings above this zone in 2020 during the COVID crash. So this is one of the first times in Bitcoin's history that it has now fallen below and rejected the 200 weekly moving average. So this, alongside all this positive news, is why I want everyone to be aware of the idea of Bitcoin could see yet another crash. And I know what you're thinking, crypto's already down a lot, but that doesn't mean that it can't get worse. Now, will it ultimately recover? Personally, I think it will. I have no fear of the long-term health of crypto, but in the short term, things could get a little bit more dangerous. So I want to make sure everyone is safe out there. There's a lot happening out there between all the lending platforms and hedge funds and exchanges. And I want to make sure everyone is staying safe. Do your own research and your own due diligence. Nothing that we say here is legal, financial, or tax advice in any way. But I hope all of you guys are staying safe in this bear market so far. It's not our first bear market. This isn't even close to the worst bear market that we've had from a percentage loss standpoint. But nonetheless, I know a lot of people came in during the last bull run, and this can look a little bit scary for them. But rest assured, we have been through much worse in the past of crypto, and we'll probably go through even worse stuff in the future. But crypto has always recovered, and I firmly believe that it will always continue to recover. So with that being said, if you guys are new here and want to learn more, you can go ahead and join the link in the description down below for Crypt Nation. It's a really great community, and I give all my technical analysis there early and in much more detail. So if you want early access to pretty much everything that I post on the YouTube, then definitely check out Crypt Nation. Again, link to that in the description down below. And if you're new to the channel, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It definitely helps out the channel a lot. With that being said, I will see you all in Friday's video.